Hello and welcome back to the Unnamed F1 podcast. I'm Cooper.
And I'm Alex.
And today we'll be talking to you about the Australian GP, which just happened about 5 days ago. A very exciting race, the start of the season. And so, lots to talk about.
We'll get into that shortly. Just some housekeeping go first. We had a lot of new listeners since the last podcast. A lot of good support, so thanks. Keep that up. Keep listening. Hope you all enjoy it. Obviously, now that we're in the season, we're gonna have more of a schedule. So the plan is every race we'll do a podcast unless something happens.
Yep.
Like probably double headers. We'll like back-to-back races. We'll do. Maybe one per two, but expect one roughly every fortnight.
Yep.
Other than that, we have a fantasy league now. Link in the description, or if you're on Spotify, Apple Music.
The code will be somewhere down there too.
I might put it on screen now.
Yeah. Easy.
Let's go. So now it's time for the news and cue our excellent new intro thing. All right. So the news. I think we've got a little list here. So you wanna start with something?
Well, we're starting with sad news. We found out, I think, on
Thursday. I don't know, one of those days.
I think it happened late Thursday or very early Friday morning. We found out on Friday that Charlie Whiting passed away in Melbourne. I forgot what the cause was, but it was something completely random.
No, Thursday afternoon.
Thursday afternoon. Okay, it was a completely random event.
I think it was I don't know, it's something to do with his lungs. I don't. Right. Pulmonary something. I don't know, but it was. Yeah, it's a shock. It wasn't.
Yeah, no one was expecting it coming. And because he played such a vital role, they didn't really know what to do because no one could fill his shoes because he did so much. And we saw a lot of the teams pay tribute to him as well. Basically, almost everyone either had it
running like a little thank you Charlie on the car.
Yeah, thank you Charlie somewhere. And there's also took a massive group photo together with all the FIA officials and the drivers and the team members saying thank you Charlie. That was nice. There was also a minute of silence before the race. I'm not sure if that was on TV.
No, that wasn't. I was only watching from the formation lap. So
there was a minute of silence on TV. I mean, like in real life. And drivers also putting symbols on their car for the attack that happened in New Zealand as well. Which is also very sad. I know it's not directly related, but I know a lot of the supercars drivers mainly they all had phones on their car.
I'm sure if Harley was still in the sport, he would have done something.
Oh yeah, he would have for sure. Yeah.
We've also got particularly interesting news we will talk about later. There's a new fastest lap. Sorry, voice crack. New fastest lap point. So basically, if a driver finishes in the top 10 and they score the fastest lap of the race, they get an extra point.
Yeah.
If they get the fast lap and finish outside the top 10, it doesn't count.
I mean, that would be quite an unlikely occurrence anyway. I can't see that happening. If someone's getting fastest lap, they'll be in the top 10. Unless it's like a mistake.
Could have something like
or something.
Yeah, or a car that's had a 30-place grid penalty or something.
Okay, yeah.
20th, yeah.
Like, for example, Pierre Gasly, if he'd pulled out a fastest lap somewhere, he wouldn't have gotten the point because he finished P11 somehow. I guess that was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we should jump straight into the actual race weekend itself.
First, yeah.
Yeah?
We want to talk about, there's a new Netflix series. I know some of you may have seen it. Do you want to explain, what did you think? Drive to Survive.
Well, I think it's good if you've never watched Formula 1 before, or you're not too interested or don't know much about it. It's there for entertainment, not for information. I wouldn't call it everyone's calling it a documentary. I wouldn't call that. I call it a reality TV show because they twist it quite a bit. They cut out a lot of important information and just focus on a few specific people and teams, which is good. It makes a very entertaining show to watch, but it's not. I wouldn't call it accurate at all.
No, it's not accurate.
So if
it gives people a good representation of what happens and drama and stuff, but it is over dramatized.
Overall, it's dramatized, but nothing is made up. It's all real. It's all real stuff that happened. So,
how far did you go into the series? I'm like the start of episode 3. I know.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I couldn't watch anymore because I already knew the plot, because I've seen all the races, right? So I know what happens. Maybe I'll watch it later, but
I mean, it's a good show. It's just as I said, we know what happened, and kind of we're looking at it going, oh yeah, I'm excited. Just wait for this. All of Haas's wheels will fall off.
Yeah,
and
but I mean, I hope it brings new fans to the sport. That'd be good. The more the merrier.
People, I've been looking on Reddit and people saying really excellent things about it. So it seems to be it's received pretty well.
Yeah, well, I think any publicity for the sport is good publicity because it's not very popular, especially with younger people. So
yeah, I had a friend of mine in particular who wasn't an F1 fan at all and knew that I liked F1, knew you liked F1 as well, and watched the series and came up to me and was like, hey, yeah, I saw the episode, and how did Haas manage to screw up their pit stops? And I'm like, oh yeah, and I feel like if this is what the show is doing and bringing new people to the sport, then I'm all for it. It's
I agree.
It's interesting. It cuts out some stuff, but it gets the message across of what F1 is. And then once people start watching a race and they like it, then they're hooked, and then more F1 fans is always a good thing.
Yeah. Speaking of F1 fans, over the course of the weekend, 350,000 people visited the Albert Park Grand Prix circuit area, which I thought was
100,000 for the race.
So the 100,000 were at the race on Sunday, 350,000 across the weekend. For Thursday and Friday, they broke records of the highest number of people ever there. I think it was 80,000 people on Friday when there's just 2 practice sessions. And I think the main reason for that is 1, it's the season opener. 2, it's the only race in the whole, Southeast Asia, Australia region for a while at least. Anyway,
the only races in this region are, or in Asia at all, for the moment until next year, Australia, China, Singapore, and Japan.
Yeah, and Singapore and Japan are quite late. And
exactly.
China's a pretty lame race to watch.
Obviously, they line up with the seasons. They put China and Australia first, and Singapore. They bundle them together because obviously it's a warmer month. They're not going to do it in June when it's cold and it's not raining.
It was a great event, I thought, because they do it more of a festival. It's not a lot of countries just do just the race and some feeder series, but here they have. I spent more time not in my seat than in my seat. I actually spent a very minimal amount of the time there in my seat watching racing. I spent a lot of it just walking around. There's so much to do. There were several different car shows. You could have a crazy amount of interaction with the drivers and the teams. I met basically almost everyone. I got photos of people with signatures, everything, and it kind of got to the point where I would see people. I'm like, oh, I don't really need to go over them and get their signature anymore. I've already seen them. I've already talked to them. An example of that is Pierre Gasly. I saw him 4 times.
Yeah. Well, actually, we're going to get into that now. So now it's this part of the show podcast. We're going to talk about recapping the weekend. So play our cringy little intro. Okay. So trackside experience. So obviously you were there. You've been to 3 races in a year. And I'm at substantial 0. Anyway.
It all started off. So first, we're looking at, there'll be some photos on the screen here. Some of the car displays I had. So there was a new Ferrari. Oh, the name slips away.
Did it have 1 seat?
Yeah, that one.
The Monza.
Yeah, that's it. Monza one. The Monza one. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I also got to see the constructors and drivers trophies, the real ones. I thought it was interesting how they actually brought them out here. They also had the Brabham cars, which I've been following on social media for a while now, the new Brabham cars. So they had the display of that, and you got to go really close to it, which I thought was cool. And they also had Jack Brabham's original F1 cars too, so they were amazing to see.
Yeah.
And they were actually driving out on track later on in the weekend.
I saw on the OzGP Instagram there was Senna's, McLaren Senna's, and Mercedes.
There was a bunch of amazing cars. There'll be some photos on screen now of just random photos I took of drivers. I actually didn't take very many photos of drivers. This time I was busy holding my magazine out trying to get signatures, which I generally got. I managed
personally, to if that was me, I don't know. Signatures are cool, but photos even cooler.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I managed to bump into Daniel Ricciardo as well. He wasn't even in the the fan signing area. He was just walking around, and no one noticed him because he's wearing all Renault clothes, and so is everyone else. And then we just
Kinda
look
slipped
up and
under the
he's
radar.
there, and he was kind of in a hurry, so I just asked him for a photo, and I got a quick one. That was pretty cool. And then one other guy noticed him, and then no one else. He just walked off. Then I
Yeah.
think later on,
He's wearing the special Renault Aussie cap and a Renault
Yeah.
shirt, and he's just going to blend in with every other fan who's raided the merchandise shop, which
Yeah.
is kind of
and then
I was looking on TV at everyone running down the track. It's just like it's a sea
the
of like
majority Renault. Everyone's got a Renault hat at least.
it's like 50% a sea of minions,
Yeah.
pretty much with Renault hats. Yeah.
And then later
colour,
on,
yeah.
I think the Friday or Saturday there was a team principal Q&A. That was actually really good. People were asking really good questions, and then someone asked a question about the budget cap, and as soon as that happened, the fighter jets came over, and we couldn't hear a thing, so I had to cancel it because it was so loud, no one could hear people talking. So that was lucky timing for
Who was,
Toto Wolff and stuff. But
Oh, Toto Wolff. Yeah, he wouldn't want to talk about
so
a budget cap.
Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, Matteo Binotto, they were all there, all the big guys. So they got pretty lucky to escape from that one.
Yeah, they're not a big fan of budget caps.
Nah. And
Put some pictures. Any other? How was the race you were sitting on? Turn 1, right?
Yeah, so I was on the left side of turn 1, so not the angled grandstand, just the straight one. So last year we sat on the angled one. This time we decided to go on just the one parallel to the straight to try and get a view of like this from all the way up the starting grid, their pit lane exit all the way down to turn 1.
I thought you were sitting on the angled. Okay.
No, which didn't work out as well as we thought because there are quite a few fences in the way, like several layers of fences, just to stop if there's a crash, stuff hitting the crowd. So you can in real life you can see quite well, but in a photo for some reason just the camera picks nothing up. So we couldn't really see the start finish line, but we could see the pit exit, and so watching cars come out of the pit and then battling another car down to the first corner was really exciting to watch. Of
Yeah,
course,
there's I think I just sent you a video, of on Instagram, a journalist, who I know, was at the race, like on the first corner, and there's this fantastic view. You see the entire field come by. You see, all these cars, Ricardo, and then like a few seconds later, you just see a wing just like sliding across the track.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, okay, cool. So it sounds like
There was a lot of debris. There was a massive piece of debris on track as well on turn 1 the whole time. Not sure if the TV picked it up, but that was it the entire time. And everyone thought a car was going to hit it. Eventually, I think one of the Mercedes hit it, but it didn't cause any damage. So there were maybe one or two, not spin-offs, like little outings to the gravel track. One of them was Charles Leclerc. Forgot who the other one was. But apart from that, there wasn't actually that much drama on turn 1 for once. I thought there'd be a lot.
He
But
wasn't on
wasn't
turn
much.
1, but he was somewhere else.
Yeah. There was one point where the Ferraris were really close, and that I know that wasn't shown on TV by hearing people on Reddit. Like they showed the Ferraris were close, but I've seen the footage on TV. It doesn't do it justice of just how close they were. Like Charles Leclerc was speeding up to Sebastian Vettel at a ridiculous rate, and then suddenly one lap he's like 5 seconds behind, and everyone's kind of like, okay, team orders.
Seeing on TV, I was like, ooh, is he gonna pass?
Yeah,
he's singing, and then I just see 1.5 seconds behind, and the commentators get all sad, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's
there was also a really good battle in the midfield too. There's like a train of 5 cars.
Yeah.
And cars, if one of those guys would pit, someone else would catch up, and it was a really good mix. And Giovinazzi was holding basically all of them back the whole time. And then so there was a string of maybe like 2 laps where they all overtook Giovinazzi, and got to see a few overtakes of that. That was pretty cool. Also saw Max Verstappen and Vettel battle it out. It's cool as well.
Anyway. Okay. Well, let's. Shall we move on then? Shall we move on?
Yep.
Let's on to qualifying.
So
obviously the big surprise of the day was Mercedes. They removed the sandbags. And came out fastest.
Yeah. Everyone pretended to be surprised, but
I remember
I think most people saw it coming.
Autosport in all their videos, apparently they thought like they were talking about basically implying that Ferrari was still sandbagging in like Q3. It was hilarious looking in the comments. People were like, "Oh, you still think Ferrari's sandbagging?"
Yeah.
So it was a surprise. I mean, Ferrari, Mercedes sandbag all the time, but no one expected the difference to be that big.
Yeah. I mean,
and we expected them to maybe fight back in the race like they did last year. I mean, that was a pit stop, but still.
Yeah, I mean, and what surprised me too was not so much the Mercedes lead but was Verstappen being able to separate the Ferraris. And I know that Charles is new, but still, that's kind of crazy that as soon as they get a Honda engine, they're up in the mix with Ferrari. And we saw later on track, Verstappen challenging and then beating Vettel. So I was kind of shocked by that, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll get into the Honda engine in a minute. We'll get into chat about it a bit more. Midfield was close, a bit unexpected. We had
close.
Lando in P8 on his debut, which is pretty insane.
Yep.
Actually, I was quite surprised by that. I was watching that and I was like, in the back of my mind, thinking about the fantasy team while still cheering on the midfield guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting. It's interesting to see Renault out in Q2.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very unlike last year. Haas up there. I mean, not unexpected. They were best of the rest.
Haas seem to always do very well at Australia. I think season.
And then they bottle in the race.
Yeah. Well, like it was a mirror of last year for Haas. They had basically the exact same race weekend, except for Magnussen actually scoring points, which was nice to see.
Yeah. And then we had Kubica down in 20th place.
Yeah, I mean, I was not surprised by that at all.
Renault, Williams
I know everyone loves him, but I don't understand why Robert Kubica is back in the sport. He's really old. He's been out for 8 years, and he's in the worst team that needs the best drivers they can get, and I really don't think Robert Kubica is one of them. I hate to say it, but...
No.
Like, George Russell qualified him by 2 seconds. He destroyed him in the race by, I think, he lapped him almost.
An entire lap. He was a lap behind George Russell, who was 2 laps behind the winner.
And George was in a terrible car as well, like the same terrible car. So I think there's no excuse for that.
With Kubica's record, he should be beating Russell, but he wasn't because, he's been out for years, as you said, and I don't know. I just don't think the future holds much for him in F1. It's sad. He's an excellent driver, a lot of history, but it's just no.
Yeah,
it's cool to see him return. It's miraculous to be able to do this, but it's just in the end, it's not.
It's not going to.
When there's only 20 race seats in Formula One, and I just don't think he deserves that one.
No.
Should we move on?
I thought Lance Stroll was interesting too. He qualified 16th, and at first I thought, oh, okay, he's actually not that great after all. But then I've always thought he's been a pretty good driver, and he gets a lot of hate, and he kind of deserves some of it. But he's still a good driver. But he proved himself in the race.
We'll get on to that in a second.
Okay.
But yeah. The race. Let's just go through, obviously chronologically. So first corner, not as much chaos as we all expected. Obviously had Ricciardo. That was a sad moment.
Yeah.
I actually saw this hilarious meme. I think I can. Let me just pull it up. I'll see if I can show it on screen now. I think I don't know if I sent it to you. But essentially, so someone's holding this banner. I think you just got it. Yeah, someone's holding this banner.
Doesn't need any wings.
This yellow banner. Ricciardo needs no wings. Obviously, it's a reference to Red Bull. Yeah. Right? And someone and I was holding up, and I saw some post on Reddit, and then the first comment was, this is during practice. It's like, oh yeah, if Ricciardo loses his wing in the race, I'll laugh. And then the next comment is like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
So it's it didn't age well. That. It's unfortunate. Basically hit a gutter, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you were there.
So he put his wheels off the track where there was a section with no grass, and then suddenly came up to a section with grass. And although it's like a very minor bump, when you're going at that speed and the car is that low, he basically ran over his whole front wing because it snapped
and all
off,
just flew out of the way.
And then he was going so fast he went straight over it. Not a good.
It's unfortunate.
I was surprised he managed to stop the car. Like if you look at
that was
replays
pretty
of it,
crazy.
His tires are completely locked up. Like from the moment he started braking, he braked early and he locked up the entire way and went right to the apex of the corner. It was
so
lucky to not crash.
It would have been cool to see how he would have done because Hulk finished 7th, I'm pretty sure. So
I think so, yeah.
That would have been.
Oh no,
that would have been cool if he had. I don't know. He finished in the top 8.
Finished 7,
Top 8 definitely.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool to see how the Renault would have fared with Daniel behind the wheel. We
Yeah.
all know he's a better racer than he is a qualifier.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Bahrain. He hasn't had a great history in Bahrain last year.
Yeah, his car just
but yeah,
turned off last year.
that was his car. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also got I think I touched on Ferrari before. Pretty slow.
Yeah.
They're surprisingly. I think from what I've read, it's a setup thing. I think it's just a case of they got the wrong setup and they've got to balance it out for next time.
Yeah.
I don't think that was Ferrari's real pace. I don't think Red Bull had is that fast. I think it's just Ferrari is slow.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, Red Bull seem to be very cocky when they talk about their car performance, and I saw something from Adrian Newey saying they reckon they could do it even better because they had been building a car factoring in a very slow engine, so they were maximizing their aerodynamic performance and downforce. So that's why they were dominant at tracks like Monaco, right? And now that they've got a faster engine, which let's face it, the Honda engine seems to be a lot faster than the Renault engine.
It does.
Like Daniel Kvyat was like coming number one in basically every speed trap. So it seems like they have the fastest top speed engine. And they didn't factor that in, so he reckons they can go even faster. So I reckon by Barcelona is usually when the first set of big updates come in, we might see an even faster Red Bull.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. High hopes, but I want to see Red Bull get back to where they were.
Yeah. But I mean, speaking of that, it seems to me they've only got one competent driver because Max Verstappen had a brilliant race on the weekend. Pierre Gasly, on the other hand, was stuck behind the ex-Red Bull driver, Daniel Kvyat, for the entire race. Like, up until about lap 16, the first set of pit stops, he was stuck in P17. I forgot who was stuck behind, but someone should have easily been able to pass. I think it might have been Alexander Albon.
Yeah.
And then then through pit stop strategy and maybe one track overtake, he actually got up to P11 behind Daniel Kvyat. And I remember every time they came down to turn one, everyone would look because they thought, Gasly's going to get him. Every time, Kvyat defended really well and he didn't overtake.
And on TV, they've got some new graphics now. They're showing like predicted position after pit stop at the current pace. It's really cool. And the way that all these graphics and just the way that you could see it going on screen, it was like they were comparing. Like they were comparing. Oh, when Gasly pits, will he be ahead of Kvyat?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. But they were basically comparing Gasly and Kvyat like they're both midfielders.
Yeah, right.
And that they're like directly competing, which they're not. Like the Red Bull is
way faster.
Yeah, way faster.
Yeah.
Because obviously Kvyat was on the podium, so Verstappen was. And the Red Bull is faster. It shouldn't be having trouble overtaking a Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's because Gasly is a bad driver or Kvyat is being racy and does and
I think it's a bit of both. Like we saw Bottas come into the season with a huge fiery attitude, and I think Kvyat's got the exact same because he has nothing to lose. This is his last shot. He needs to basically destroy Alex Albon and be the best of the rest to have a chance to stay in Formula One because he's got a pretty bad reputation, which is I think a lot of it was due just to bad luck, but that's the situation he's in and needs to dig his way out of it. So he's going to give it his all.
I mean, Kvyat he's an excellent driver. He just had a couple crashes and then got partly screwed by moving from Red Bull to Toro Rosso, which wasn't great. I mean, we've now got Max, who's won 5 races since then, and Kvyat got 2 podiums in that
the long run. It was a good decision for Red Bull.
Yeah,
it was just very unlucky for Kvyat.
That's right. I think his second chance is deserved. Yeah. Let's see how we go over the course of the year. We can make lots of predictions now, and none of them probably come true.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of predictions, one thing that you can usually do is at the end of the Australian Grand Prix, kind of have a general idea of where they're at. But looking at the finishing order, it is just
like
chaos.
What order performance order? Sorry, you cut out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you can kind of determine the order of how the team. But by looking at the grid at the end of the race, it is just chaos. You have Haas, Renault, Alpha, Racing Point, Toro Rosso, Red Bull, McLaren. That's 7 teams in 7 spaces. Then you go back to Racing Point, Toro Rosso, Alpha, Williams, and then 3 DNFs. So yeah, Williams are clearly the bottom. Mercedes are clearly the best. Everyone else, you couldn't predict an order. I
By
don't think.
Monaco, it normally balances out.
Yeah, yeah,
Because obviously one race is not enough to decide an order. Like you can McLaren were like P3 in the championship Australia last year or something. It was P4.
yeah,
And they finished the year 7th. So
yeah,
or 6th or whatever. But what I'm saying is, yeah, I think we've got to wait for a few races, at least till China before we can have a concrete. We know roughly, but we just got to figure out who is the fastest in the midfield, and that's going to take time. That's like last year, the midfield is even closer, which is fantastic. And most of the interesting racing is in the midfield. It just doesn't get covered as much.
yeah.
There was an excellent battle between like Kvyat, Norris, Stroll, Giovinazzi, and all of them during the race. It was obviously it was around the back sections of the track. You wouldn't have seen it, but on TV it was like fascinating. They were all like they were wheel to wheel, and yeah, it was really cool.
Every time they came past turn one, they were so close, and then we would see them follow each other out. And I remember when Lando finally got Giovinazzi, you could tell it was going to happen because he came flying to turn one, and he got a really good exit in like from turn one into turn two, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, okay, he's got it this time, sure.
Yeah. It took a while, but yeah, he did fall from 8th to 12th over the course of the race, which is a bit sad.
Well, I think that was it was because he was stuck behind Giovinazzi, and I think he was just being really cool. First race, and he didn't want to crash out on his first race. So
yeah, that's right. It's better to have a finishing on the first race than a DNF like most people do.
Yep.
And then we have the complicated situation of Haas and the pit stop.
Yeah.
Again,
disappointing.
Yeah. They did. Yeah. Who was it? Who retired again? Was it Magnussen?
It was Grosjean. And it wasn't.
That's right.
It wasn't that they put the wheel on wrong. It's that they damaged one of the wheel nuts.
They cross-threaded. They cross-threaded the bolt.
Yeah. So they damaged it, and then so it was fine when Grosjean first drove out, and the first couple of corners it was fine, and then towards the end of the lap,
after he started to put more stress on the wheel, it was.
Yeah.
It's coming loose, and you can see as he pulls off the side of the track in like the second last corner, Grosjean comes on the radio. He's like, "Oh, front suspension failure."
Yeah.
Which is a lie because you can see the wheel is like levitating.
Well, no,
I
think
not really, but you can see the wheel is there and it just like shifts out and comes back in. It's like, yeah, okay, that's a broken wheel.
Well,
that's not.
I don't think he was lying. I think he just didn't know, because if it was a wheel, typically a wheel failure happens straight after the pit stop, right? Like you drive into turn one and the wheel's falling off. So for it to last the whole lap and then come off at the end, I can see why he thought that. But
yeah, I mean, I think it was just
obvious.
loose. I mean,
as a spectator, it was obvious.
In Drive to Survive, you could see there were points. I think it was Magnussen. Magnussen's wheel was like a bit, like referencing the show, like anyway, yeah, like that wasn't obvious. I think he did like half a lap, and then you realise that got to pull over. Grosjean's was immediate, but anyway, yeah, it's sad to see that happen again. Hopefully they improve. They're not very good with it. I saw some excellent Will Smith rewind time memes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's not good. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Obviously, now the main chat of the day, which is Bottas.
He did a great job.
Wow, that was. I did not expect that. I mean, the first corner he took the lead and then just never gave it up.
Yeah, like he got such a good start that down to turn one. Because it's all happened so fast, you can't pay attention to the numbers. Like in qualifying, you know who's who. Turn one, you kind of have no idea. You just see the colours of the car. And so no one really realised that Bottas actually got Hamilton until they all left and everyone looks at the TV and were like, hang on, Bottas is winning. So he was that far ahead that it looks like he looked like Hamilton.
I was looking on lap like 40, and I was like, oh, Bottas has a 25-second gap. He must not have pitted yet. Yeah. Thinking that, oh, well, obviously, why would his gap be so big? But no, he had pitted and built such a big lead. Like,
yeah,
that is in F1 these days. That is unheard of.
Yeah.
And I was getting to the point where Bottas finished, and I'm like, cool, Bottas finish, and then they're just sitting there and waiting for Hamilton to cross the line.
Yeah.
And Verstappen is like, okay, yeah,
I thought
that is incredible.
some of the team radio is interesting too, with Bottas wanting to go for the extra point too for fastest lap.
Yeah, so
And
that's our next talking point. Yeah, the
yeah,
fastest lap.
and then Hamilton had the same attitude as well. They both really wanted it, and Mercedes didn't allow either of them to pit. So they both had to push on their tires, and Bottas was on much fresher tires. So
I mean, it's fair, to be honest. Like Bottas, why risk a race win?
oh yeah, yeah.
And
No, I agree with it.
when, mind you, his first race win in a season and a bit. Like he last
Yeah.
won Abu Dhabi 2017.
Yeah,
Why risk that when you can just push on the tires that you've got, which are relatively fresh,
yeah,
and just go for whatever you can?
yeah,
And yeah, as you said, the team radio was funny. Like Bottas was saying, "Oh, I want 26 points." Hamilton's like,
Yeah.
Bono, I need that point."
yeah,
So it's pretty cool because it's like when normally at the end of the race, when drivers are trying to manage their tires and just get to the end of the race, there's now basically a mini qualifying session at the end.
yeah. They'll be pushing. They won't just be
It's like
cruising home anymore. They'll be
Yeah, it's like a rolling qualifying.
because I know James from Mercedes. I forget his last name, but in one of
James,
the YouTube videos
yeah.
they do,
Valtteri, it's James, yeah.
he made I guess it's an obvious point. I never actually thought about it though. But over the course of the season, there's 21 points available, which is almost a full race win. So for a team like Mercedes to not push for those points and
Hang on, hang on, 21.
yeah, it's a 21.
It's 20, for a race win, it's 25.
Yeah, no, I said almost a race win.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. For them to just not challenge that and let Ferrari have all those points, if it was a close battle, then that could make a huge difference. So
Yeah, and even if they
everyone will be going for them.
And it could be interesting too if one of their drivers is doing really poorly, like let's say they're running outside of the points, like Gasly was,
Yeah,
and that was a tight championship battle, and let's say, I don't know, Vettel is leading, and it's like the last race of the season, and he's got the fastest lap, and like Hamilton, which probably won't happen because Ferrari will bottle it again, but anyway, Hamilton's like outside of the points, he would go for that fastest lap and stop him getting the championship. Like this could provide some seriously interesting moments.
yeah, and I reckon at some point in the season, people will pit stop just for the fastest lap.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that'll surely happen.
Well, it depends. I mean, if they're not going for a win, and it's the case, like if you the gap between, like for instance, like let's have a look. So I'm looking at the data here. Vettel was 30 seconds behind Verstappen.
Yeah,
And Leclerc was on the second behind. And they were a whole another like 30 seconds behind the first midfielder. So I mean,
Yeah.
Vettel could have just go, okay, I'm gonna go pit for some super soft right now. I'm banging the fastest lap and gain some more points.
but I think Vettel didn't have a chance to get the fastest lap, even with fresh tires. I think Bottas was that fast.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. At some point, there will be a case like that.
Oh, okay.
Where
Yeah.
someone's going to go, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to lose a position. I'm going to lose maybe one position if I pit,
Yeah.
or whatever, or maybe team order or something. I'm going to go, okay, I'm just going to go for this fastest lap and get some more points. It'll happen at some point.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to mention? Bring up any cool moment? Anything cool bits from the race?
Not particularly. I thought it was interesting at the end, when the track invasion happens, and like basically the whole circuit can go on. And the gate I was at, a guy, because there was a massive bit of debris that I mentioned earlier on turn one, and the whole race everyone was kind of eyeing off, thinking, "Oh, I want that."
Ooh, I'm gonna go steal that.
Yeah, I was thinking it too. And so before the safety car even came around, because the rule is once the safety car comes around, you can go on the track. So about 10 seconds before the safety car even comes, some guy just runs past the security guard and runs onto the track and gets it. And I almost guarantee that wasn't on TV because they wouldn't show that. But he got yelled at by everyone, and he just runs on and gets the debris, runs around for a bit. And then by the time he got it and kind of ran back towards the fence, the safety guard had gone, and the masses of people come in. So I'm sure he never got caught. And he got a nice chunk of a car.
Yeah, I saw someone on Reddit posted that like in the back of their car like had like a DRS board.
Yeah, one of the popular ones.
And it was huge. It wasn't like it looks tiny on screen, but it's massive.
Yeah, and one of the popular ones was there were these massive Rolex signs. I think they were at the final turn because I didn't see any, but I saw people walking back in them. And I kept asking where they got them from.
Yeah.
They pointed down towards the final turn. These massive foam DRS signs, as tall as a fully grown adult.
Yeah.
All I managed to grab was I got a bag of gravel, a single piece of tire rubber because there didn't seem to be much rubber this time for some reason. And I got this quite a big sign saying "Do not enter track activity." That was for the marshals on the fence. So I ripped that off and I took that home as well.
Well, by taking it home, you mean you took it to the hotel, and then what happened?
I took it home. It's at home.
How? So it's in your house now in a different city.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. How big is it?
Maybe like 3 sheets of paper.
Oh,
Nothing ridiculous. Yeah.
But it fit in a suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine the person in like airport security would have like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Stealing stuff seems to be I don't know. It's just an Aussie thing.
Oh, it was chaos down there, especially because I sprinted past everyone to try and get a good. I got super close. Like I was right in front of it and right onto the glass, and everyone was screaming at Verstappen, mainly booing Verstappen because he used to be Daniel's teammate. And people like throwing stuff, and then people started talking about rugby and screaming about rugby. And then everyone kept climbing the fence too, and so the security guards are telling people to stop, but no one listened.
Climbing the fences to try and get over.
Yeah, because it's a huge fence.
Yeah.
And then someone had the fantastic idea of climbing on top of the starting lights. It's like sat up top, and the whole thing was bending and swaying, so they jumped off. It was hilarious. Everyone was cheering.
It's like anywhere you can see is up for grabs. You can just go sit there.
Yeah. It was absolute chaos. It was hilarious.
It's probably getting close to wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So next time, just some chat for. Actually, we'll just do one thing. Driver of the day. And it can't be Bottas because fans already voted. Kvyat.
Yeah.
I would have to go with. Yeah, explain while I think.
Oh, okay. Because he wasn't in a fantastic car and he managed to hold Gasly back the entire time. I thought that was pretty impressive, and he got points too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. 1 point. 1 point. I was really disappointed actually. Racing Point got 2 points, so I was really hoping like, come on, Kvyat pass Stroll so he can just get 1 point.
Yeah.
And it can be the best team name ever. But yeah, I have to agree. Kvyat, definitely driver of the day. Other than that concludes it. Next time out, we're going to be chatting about Bahrain. Any predictions? Any particular things? Anything? One crazy prediction, and then we'll see what happens.
My crazy prediction is that'll be an extremely boring race. It'll be Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Renault, Haas, Alfa, Toro Rosso, McLaren, Racing Point, Williams.
So you're saying everyone's going to finish next to their teammate?
Yep. It's going to be a very boring race, I guarantee.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I'm going to say, what's my prediction going to be? I don't know. I'm going to say there's one team, a top team's going to have a double retirement, whether that's Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull. Whether you'd even call, one of them is going to have a double retirement. That's my crazy prediction.
Well, there were a lot of retirements last year, so it's
there were, but Red Bull had a double retirement because their cars both kind of just died.
Well, Verstappen broke his, and Ricardo's
died, but still, it was a car issue. It wasn't like a
it wasn't. Did Kimi retire? Because I remember that's where he ran over his pit stop. Remember?
Yes, that was it. Yeah,
but did he retire because of that?
I think so.
Okay, because we all
that's how Gasly got fourth in that race.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he should have come seventh. He should have been best of the rest, but then three of.
But he's not because obviously there was I'm going to call it now. Let's not do what you almost did last year. You almost put money on someone for the championship. But I'm going to say if Bottas is leading the championship for the next few races, then I'm going to tip him for the championship. I know it's race one, but
if Bottas wins 2 of the next 4 races, I will put $200 on him to win.
Oh God, you almost put 500 on Vettel last year. Cooper.
No, I was gonna put 500 Vettel, 500 Hamilton, and then I would have broken even if that happened. If like if Vettel won, I would have made a shit ton of money, but because Hamilton won, I think I would have broken even, or I would have lost a tiny amount, but nothing major.
I'll actually put I'll put 500 on Kubica. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, the odds on basically everyone outside of the top 6 are like 1 to 30,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that concludes everything for Australia. Next podcast, when do you think? After Bahrain? I guess that's the plan.
Yeah, after Bahrain. Yep.
First week of April, which is pretty sure, that's when Bahrain is.
It's the 999th ever Formula 1 race.
Yes. And then China is the 1000th.
Yeah.
The plan is, I don't know, we for China, I know it's 2 races ahead, but we may have a podcast on race day. You never know. We'll see how it goes. Because obviously we have more time than... but it'll be... Yeah, so we'll just basically once every 2 weeks, and then if there's a back-to-back race, we'll probably do one for entire thing. Yeah. Right. Again, join our fantasy league. Share this podcast with your friends, because we love hearing from people about it. It really it means more than you think. Anything else? I
think it's all good.
Oh yeah. Thank you for listening or watching or wherever you're on YouTube.
See you guys next time.